One of those pieces you mentioned a little bit before, but I want to get into is stretching and flexibility, which so many people overlook.
Right.
We a lot of people know you go to the gym, you lift some weights, you break it down. And again, it's funny because people know, that pain the next day is a good thing. They're going
Mhm.
to grow from it. And that's
Right.
where you say that pain, you can help people grow from it too.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's also a good thing. But if you were to talk about, stretches and flexibility, what would be your recommendations for someone? I know I think you're big on doing it before you go to sleep, correct?
Yeah. I wanted what I saw is people didn't stretch. They were hunched forward. They
Yep.
didn't work out. They didn't have muscle strength. And so I wanted to write a book and sprinkle chiropractic in the book, but make it a healthcare book. And I talk about hydration and in the book, and then I'll get into stretching. But the hydration portion, I saw a lot of dehydration injuries. People said, "Doc, I just bent over to feed my dog. I bent over to brush my teeth. I bent over to tie my shoe. My back just locked up." I go, "Oh, geez, that's interesting." Dehydration, because in essence, you see a lot of people don't drink enough water. Their body's more susceptible to injury. So I started on this whole project by seeing, like, I saw a lot of contractors who came in, electricians, plumbers, um, tradespeople came in. They always had left hip and leg pain. I go, how come these people have left hip and knee pain? And a lot of people say, well, the way they bend, their old shoes. I get it, but a lot of them have high trucks. And when they get out of the truck, they pound the left leg out of the car. So I
Hmm.
said, oh, okay, so their IT pan got tight. They kept jamming the hip and leg. So I said, when you get out of the car, swing both legs and then swing both legs in. And you see these things changing. So I could fix them up, but if they keep going back to the bad habit, they're not going to get the results. So I wanted to add more things to, now that they felt better, I wanted to add these other routines like weight training. Why would you want to kind of get your shoulders back? Because over time, our spine has these curves for a reason. And when we hunch forward, we become more like a shrimp, and our spine doesn't absorb shock when it's a shrimp. It absorbs shock when it has three curves: neck, mid back, low back. It's like a shock absorber, right? So if we can't get these three curves and we change them, we're on our phones all day, we're on our computers, we're just constantly rolled forward. Well, the body doesn't like that. And the subconscious brain will notice that and it will adapt. And it throws calcium at the site, and they call that arthritis.
Mm.
So now you have this arthritic spine that you can't get the time back. You get the time going forward, but when you're 8 years old, you can't say, oh, wow, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have been looking on my phone and computer like that, because so I want to get the time back. Sorry, you had a chance. 40 years ago, you should have happened. Someone should have taught you that. And if you don't learn that early, it's going to affect you when you get older. You can't move as much, and then you're frustrated because now you're in pain all the time. You're in this stress and anxiety state. You can't move. You get depressed, and this whole bad cycle happens. So flexibility is a big part of that, because as we age, not just our muscles contract, but our lymph system, our cardiovascular system, our lungs, and we can't get flow. We become like an LA traffic jam inside our body. And our body has to adapt to that. And as a result of this constriction, we're in a bad mood. And now you're looking for help and you're looking for ways out of it. And a lot of people just take medications, again, to slow the progression. They're not doing anything to go out of the rabbit hole. And I think that flexibility is a big part of it. I think training your heart and vascular system. I talk about high intensity interval training, longevity. We know weight training is important for longevity to keep your muscles moving. And, it's kind of like this Golden Gate Bridge, I said, kind of support the base. The cables are important to the bridge. The base are the cars. So keep your body strong so you can move. If you get movement, your body's a repair recovery machine. And I talk about it as an adaptive waste management treatment plan. So adaptive, well, nutrients in, takes the information, adapts to what you're feeding it and taking care of it. And whatever you're doing, it's going to kind of remove the waste products, and it's going to adapt as necessary. And over time, will expose the decisions you're making for this body. And like you said, we have this sick care crisis because people aren't being taught how to be healthy, because the business of sickness dominates the market now. Well, ironically, from the pandemic, you have this business of health that is being created.
Mm.
Um, and stretching is a big part of that. So I give all the yoga instructors credit, the Pilates instructors, the naturopath, the integrative medicine docs, all these people who are there in the system that never get kudos, and me being one of those alternative people where, I'm in the profession where it's the largest drugless health profession, but it doesn't really get looked at like it should. And my job is to kind of take that to the level and explain to people how chiropractic can help them, and then how doctors can be lifestyle coaches to teach people how to improve their quality of life again, especially with time.
Yeah,
Uh,
part of the equation I saw, that you were talking about throughout the book is, of course, there's this notion of movement throughout and exercise, and you
Mhm.
talk about high intensity interval training. And I actually read this stat that 95% of people after the age of 35 will never sprint again.
Mhm.
You, however, wrote in the book at 65,
Yep.
you're still doing 110-yard sprints, correct?
Yeah. 220s.
That's
Still go to the
impressive.
track. Yeah,
That
still
is
go to the track.
impressive.
So
You're definitely in that
everything, okay,
5%.
so put it this way. There's talkers and there's doers in life.
Yeah.
And people talk like they can do it. People don't care about my degrees. They want to know what I'm doing. What am I doing? I saw you sprinting, Doc. I saw you weight training. I saw you doing this. Great. I want to show you what you can do too. You can do this too. You don't have to do what I'm doing, but going to the gym and kind of strengthening your body would be a good idea, don't you think? Yeah, I just got to find the time. So you help them where they can find the time. And you just mentioned stretching. One of the best times to stretch is life compresses us all day. So I said in the book, maybe a great time to stretch would be right before you go to bed. And a
Mm.
way to change the habit, if you want to hydrate, put a water container in your desk. If you want to stretch, put a yoga mat and a foam roller next to your bed. And then your subconscious brain says, and your conscious decision making can say, wow, that's there for a reason. I put that there to start changing my habit. 4 to 5 weeks later, you're going to start stretching before you, as you're going to see it as just part of your life. So if you do these positive things, what's crazy, Casper, you could change your aging trajectory and you can enjoy yourself as you age. And like I said, at 65, sprinting, I went in, I'm a Medicare patient now, right? I'm supposed to be immunocompromised. I'm supposed to have comorbidities. I'm supposed to be weakened. I'm supposed to have all these health ailments. Really? According to who? So I, what's amazing is I've proven a system wrong for 42 years. Do I need another 30 years? I mean, how many more years do I need to show over and over again? And I put these people on Instagram and show them what what I see on a regular basis as a last resort doctor who's been in all these doctors. And these doctors said, well, you should be out of business. You're not a real doctor. Okay, well, I agree with you. If you were doing your job, I should be out of business. So my point being is I'm so used to being locked in, like I said, when I come into the office to give people results. That's all I know. And that's how I've learned and taught myself. And I guess I don't know if I could ever change that habit, which is good. My son's going to chiropractor school, so he'll be out in a year and a half. So that's good. I can move on. But in the meantime, till then, I still, it's not over yet. So my goal is to guide people to better health and give them ideas that maybe they never thought of that can improve their health. And breathing with the high intensity interval training, breathing in the nose, out the mouth, expands your lungs, helps blood flow to the brain with nitric oxide. And as a result of that, you can have a better immune system, less chance of comorbidities, better health, better energy, better hormonal system where you're getting more endorphins, the dopamine hit, and healthy addictions that you don't need outside in stimulation. You can get it from the inside out.